So we are at the end of Chapter 4, Season 1, and in today's video, I wanted to give my full review on this season because my opinions on the season are actually pretty complicated. So yeah, in today's video, like I do with every season, I'm just going to be giving my full review on how BR has been specifically, just giving my final thoughts on the season as a whole before we move into Chapter 4, Season 2. And like I always do with these videos, I'm not going to be talking about creative or even factoring it into my opinion at all. This is purely just about BR. So let's start off with the visuals themselves, because I feel like the visuals have seen the biggest upgrade, and personally, the graphics are honestly my favorite part of the season. And not even just the graphics and how the map looks, but the skins that they've been introducing as well. Just visually, the season has been fantastic, from cosmetics to the map to the POIs to how the game actually looks. It's beautiful. We've been seeing a lot of unique visual style with the medieval areas especially. I love how the autumn biome looks. The lighting is just incredible. Like, playing the game at max graphics is absolutely stunning. Sometimes I just love walking around the map and just looking at the amazing visuals, going inside interiors and seeing how the light reacts to all these different things. I love it. Everything just looks so fantastic, and the graphics and the map itself seem to be the most polished part of the season. The game just looks absolutely beautiful. The art direction is fantastic. The visual identity with the medieval stuff is great, and the skins have been stellar. Fortnite is now one of the best looking games out there, but this is a huge double-edged sword because this leads to my biggest problem with the season, and that is the performance. This game does not run as well as it should. I have had to make some major upgrades to my PC to even get this game to run decent. And even then, like, it's completely playable. It's pretty great, pretty stable 60 frames a lot of the time, but there are some random frame drops. Some days the game just does not run very well. Some days it runs great. I will say it has gotten better over the season. We've seen major improvements over the course of a few updates here, but it has just made it harder to enjoy the season for me personally, especially at the beginning. It has gotten better though, and I hope it continues to improve. But running this game on PC should not require the amount of upgrades that I've had to give my PC to have it run at the state that it's running right now. I feel like a lot of PCs are having struggles with this season, and I feel like your mileage may vary a lot too. Like, from what I've seen, it seems like the next-gen consoles are doing pretty well, but last-gen consoles aren't holding up too great, and mobile and Switch are just a complete disaster. And yeah, this kind of just clarifies my worry that this season, at least when it comes to the brand new Unreal Engine, was pushed out a little bit too early, because I don't think the performance is quite there yet. I do not think the optimization was quite there yet when the season launched, and I still don't think it's quite there. I think it could use a lot of improving, and I really wish they gave the season a bit more time. I wish they released it when the new Unreal was in a better spot than it is right now, because it is so new, and it not only has led to optimization issues, but also plenty of bugs throughout the season. This has probably been the most buggy season of Fortnite I've ever experienced. Not to say it was terrible in terms of bugs, but it has not been fantastic either. A lot of the new items and features have had glitches. There's been a lot of UI bugs and stuff like that. I really just don't think that this new Unreal was ready yet. I think they should have given this season a bit more time. It feels like it was released a bit before it was ready. I'm glad it released when it did because it's been a lot of fun, but part of me thinks it would have been a lot better if they just gave it a bit more time. Maybe give Chapter 3 an extra season, and then have Chapter 4 come out around this time that it is now, depending on how much the engine has progressed since then. I'm not exactly sure, but it seems like from now, like, I think the performance is definitely in a much better spot, and if the season released like this, where the performance currently is at, I think it would have been a lot better. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the visuals and the performance and the new engine and that kind of stuff. But let's move into the actual map itself, because that is kind of the next big thing about the season, is the brand new map. And we are on the 4th map by this point, so it's not really as exciting as it was when we got Chapter 2 and even Chapter 3. I feel like it gets a little less exciting each time, but this is definitely one of my favorite maps. I really enjoy the visuals of it, of course, like I said before, but I also just love a lot of the POIs. There's not really any POIs that I hate. I land most of them pretty regularly. I think the only one that I kind of just stopped landing at was Lonely Labs, and my opinions on POIs have definitely changed a lot since I made that ranking video, so I'll probably redo the ranking by the time next season comes out, re-ranking every single POI on the map again to kind of update my thoughts on them combined with the new ones. But as of now, yeah, Lonely Labs is probably my least favorite. If I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be Slappy Shores. I think the POIs are great. I've definitely heard a lot of people talking about how a lot of them feel too similar, especially in the medieval biome, and while I could definitely see that, I don't really mind it. I honestly just feel like it makes the art style a bit more consistent, and the biomes feel more consistent, and I think they have enough differences to kind of separate them. I think the only two that I would deem too similar to each other would be Anvil Square and Breakwater Bay. I think those are the only two that are a bit too similar, but even then, I feel like Breakwater has enough with like the whole shoreline theme to kind of separate it. Yes, the buildings are similar, but I think that kind of just makes the biome more coherent, so I kind of appreciate it more than I dislike it. But I could definitely see where people are coming from with that. I still really do enjoy this map. The only part of the map that I don't enjoy is the snow biome. I do really like Brutal Bastion. I think that POI is fantastic, but other than that, like I said, Lonely Labs isn't really that great. And other than that, there isn't really anything interesting of note. There's like one cool landmark that I really like, which is like this kind of research area by the water, but other than that, it's kind of boring. And visually, I don't think it's as good as the rest of the map. So yeah, I hope the snow biome sees some major changes, but the rest of the map is absolutely phenomenal. I really love it. It's beautiful, like I said before, all the POIs are great, and honestly, I don't really have many complaints with it. Alright, so next up is the gameplay, and with the gameplay, I have to say the loot pool is fantastic. I wish they would just keep it consistent though. Like, they keep bringing things in and then taking them out and then bringing other things in and taking them out immediately. Like, I wish we could just have a consistent loot pool that stayed consistent. Like, stop bringing in really fun items and then taking them away. Like, we had this with the new event that happened with the heist event. They had a bunch of fun items, immediately took them out like 2 weeks later. That kind of stuff is just really frustrating. But in terms of new stuff we've been seeing, like, oh my goodness, these new items are fantastic. I know a lot of people don't like the hammer, but I really have not seen many people abusing it too much. I think that's just my experience. It's another mileage may vary thing, but I have not been too frustrated with the hammer, though I could definitely see how it could be frustrating. I've been having a lot of fun with it, though I haven't been picking it up as much as I have been at the beginning of the season, so I wouldn't be too sad if it left. In fact, I'm pretty sure it already got removed and the season's not even over yet. You also have the brand new shield item, which I really hope they keep in next season because I absolutely love this item and it makes me really like zero build a lot. And then you also have the Falcon Scout, which I wouldn't be too sad if they removed it next season, but I do think it is a really fun item to have in the game. And I think it was a lot more fun when it first came out because it was brand new, and I was using it a lot, and now I don't really use it much anymore. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's just not enough inventory space for me to warrant carrying the Falcon Scout around anymore, but it has been pretty fun, and it was really fun when it first dropped. And then you have the Excalibur rifle, which I really didn't like at the start, but I'm really starting to love it now, and they're probably going to take it away next season, so that kind of sucks, but you know, I could live without it. A lot of these new items are absolutely fantastic, but a lot of them I could live without, that's definitely for certain. But the shield specifically, I hope is a mainstay in BR. I love that item so much, especially for zero build. I think it is absolutely required for zero build because it's just so much fun. It's really satisfying to block enemy fire. It's really fun to throw it out and kind of put it in like a strategic position to help defend your teammates. It's a lot of fun. But in general, I'm just glad that they're adding interesting and fun items again. I feel like it's been a while since we've had a season that just constantly kept throwing out really fun items. And well, it wasn't really that way until midway through the season. I think it's been a lot of fun since we started getting these more consistent updates. It's been really great seeing these brand new items. Now, I wish they did a bit more with some of these updates. We haven't really seen any map changes, but we've been seeing these items, and I feel like this season kind of was more focused on giving us a fun and interesting loot pool and gameplay than updating the map, which I can definitely respect. So overall, I really like the loot pool. I think it has been a lot of fun, but in terms of the other gameplay, I do feel like BR is starting to get really stale for me. Honestly, it's been getting a bit stale for the last few seasons, but this season I really hope that they would change up the formula a bit more, and they added two things that I think have a lot of potential. They added augments and they added the capture zones, but the issue with these is, well, they're cool, they're very surface level, and they don't change up the gameplay too much. I think the augments are definitely very fantastic. I just wish that you had a bit more choice with them. I don't love how they're random. I wish you could like pre-select them before you go into a game to kind of strategize with your teammates which augments you're going to use, which role in the team you're going to play. I think that would be a lot more fun, and I wish the capture zones were more vital, and I wish they had more to do with them. I had made a whole video earlier in the season talking about how these things could be improved, and I've been referring to that video a lot because I truly think that there's a lot of things that they could do with the capture zones and the augments to just make the game a lot more fun, especially for team modes, and I hope that they take these opportunities for next season. just to change up BR a little bit, because I think this season, while it's great, it just feels a little bit more like the same thing. It feels like we're going back to basics again. This is the 4th season 1, and I just wish that they would feel a bit more different from each other in terms of the actual BR gameplay, the actual formula of the game. I just think it's getting a tad stale, and I really thought this season would be the one to break the mold, and unfortunately that didn't really happen. So yeah, overall the gameplay is really fun, the loot pool's fantastic, but I just wish they did more to kind of differentiate this season from the rest. And when it comes to my overall final thoughts on the season, I think it was overall a great start to Chapter 4. I just wish they did more to change BR. I wish the performance and the bugs weren't as bad, but I'm absolutely adoring the new visuals. I love the skins they've been releasing. I love the brand new map, and I'm so glad that they've been introducing more fun and interesting items like I've been wanting them to do for a while, and they've kind of slowly been getting into that, and now this season they just did it in full force with a bunch of really fun items, so I really appreciate that. So despite my negatives, my positives boost this to be one of my new favorite Fortnite seasons of all time, probably in my top 5. I don't know exactly where it ranks. It's definitely tied somewhere with Chapter 3 Season 1. They're very close. I feel like they have pros and cons that kind of outweigh each other. But I do think that overall this was a fantastic season. There's things that I did not love about it, but I think they're all things that can be fixed in the next season. So I'm really excited to see what they do for Season 2. And overall, I just really hope that Season 2 kind of reignites my excitement of the game again, because I feel like I wasn't really playing the game a lot this season. I wasn't making a whole lot of content as I normally do on the season. It's been fun, but I feel like in terms of discussion, Fortnite has definitely not been as interesting lately. So I hope that Season 2 kind of brings that back for me. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about this season? I would honestly love to hear what you guys think in the comments. If you guys like this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, because I make videos like this all the time, and you can also use my supporter creator code Bendominator in the Fortnite item shop #ad. Thank you guys so much for watching, have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.